Welcome to Record-ology.
When I was in the first grade, we lived in Connecticut. That's the only time I've ever lived outside of Texas.
Okay.
I was born here. And a lady who lived next door to us in Hamden, older lady, gave me a stack of 78 RPM album sets, you know, these sort of things.
Yeah.
And I was already had my phonograph that my parents had given to me. So I was playing LPs and stuff. But I had never seen a 78 before. I was in, like I say, first grade, 6 years old. And she gave me these records, and they were stiff and hard and breakable, and played a lot faster. Of course, I had a 78 speed on my machine back then, so I could play them. And I just thought, you know, that's really cool, because I was all, for whatever reason, I have that gene that just is attracted to old stuff, right? I'm the old soul kind of person.
Right.
And,
Same here.
You guys too, huh?
Yeah.
That's why we get along so well, right?
Right, yeah, exactly.
We sold A through C last auction.
Oh, wow.
And we're selling D through G in this auction.
Okay.
But stuff that nobody's ever even seen before.
Amazing.
And in fact, I co-authored a book on an encyclopedia on American U.S. pre-war record labels.
Wow.
But so I like labels, I like picture discs, I like all kinds of stuff. Like, for instance, up here we've got, I know you really like this stuff. I'll show you some things that you would like. So I love these early unusual pressings. Like these were ARCO, American Record Company thing.
Wow. Personal
from
message.
the 1920s.
Wow.
So, yeah, that sort of thing. Here's a Calvin
goodness.
Coolidge speech on one of those. Postcard. I saw you did a thing on postcards.
Yeah.
So some interesting stuff like that. We've got, what else we have up here? Flexos. Are you familiar with those?
No.
Okay, so Flexos are really cool. So these are date from the 20s and 30s. These are, well, not so much, but usually they're translucent.
Yeah.
See through them.
Early flexi discs, basically.
Okay, this one's cool. This one is, this is 33 on this side and 78 on this side. Sample record.
Wow. I've only heard of this stuff. That's amazing to see it in person.
Here's
Flexo. Amazing. Play with a steel needle.
Yeah.
I can't believe they can hold up to that. What are they? Oh, wow. Now, what is it? What kind of material is it?
I'm not exactly sure. I would presume cellulose.
That's what my guess was going to be, cellulose.
I think it's cellulose.
So hopefully it doesn't just spontaneously
There's
combust
a pink
anymore.
one.
Wow.
1933.
Just amazing.
So really, really, you know, very, very neat stuff. I love that.
And I presume you have the full set of Vogue picture discs somewhere.
Well, I did. I sold those about 20 years ago. We have picture discs of various sorts. This is a very rare one. I've never heard or seen another copy of this. This is from early 1930s. Huey Long was, I think, governor of Louisiana.
Yeah.
Here he was senator from Louisiana. Very, very obscure, rare record. Here's something that's kind of cool. This is a Galatenplatte from Germany. You put that in a bowl of water and it'll dissolve on you.
Oh my goodness.
It's got these cracks going through it, but you know, it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Cool. This is a very, very early American picture record, possibly the earliest American picture record I'm even aware of.
Oh wow.
This is 1923.
Wow. Just amazing. Interesting how many colorful records existed.
That's just a paper.
So cool. Wow.
Yeah. That's amazing. So I love picture records. I was a big picture record collector. I collected a complete set of the Victor picture records as well. And the Victors are a whole lot rarer than the
Vogues, right?
And in fact, I've got really. Wonder if I've got it in here or not. These are Mercuries. Those were made by Vogue.
Wow.
Here's one, a Vogue, which just a test pressing.
Oh my goodness, that is so cool.
Oh, Glenn Miller. You asked about Glenn Miller.
Yeah.
Mr. Record-ology, I know, likes Glenn Miller.
He does. And he knows there's a rare picture disc
I
of
think
his
we
too.
had that in our last auction.
Wow.
The Philco Vogue promo.
Yep.
Rum and Coca-Cola on one side and a little street in Singapore.
Oh,
Michael
that's
Miller on the other
amazing.
side. That was actually the RCA recording of that.
Okay.
And I'm not exactly sure how Vogue got that, if RCA loaned them a stamper or something, but it was, I don't think it was ever sold, but they pressed some samples up.
Wow.
So those are very,
yeah,
very,
and I think that's what I remember reading, and that's why they're so rare. Yeah.
exactly. These are some other flexi discs of different sorts, home recordings, just all kinds of really interesting, cool things.
Yeah.
Rare labels, you know, you name it.
Amazing.
So, didn't do a whole lot of pulling a whole lot of stuff out to look at it. Oh, I'll show you a couple of things. I don't know if we got time for this.
Yeah, please.
So we looked at the soundtrack disc, the Vitaphone. That's pretty cool. Pretty rare, pretty cool. But it's not quite as cool as this one.
Wow.
So this is an Edison Kinetophone cylinder, which is a soundtrack to an Edison Kinetophone movie from the around 1915 or so.
Oh my goodness.
And that will only play on a Kinetophone machine.
Oh my goodness.
Edison Kinetophone phonograph. I don't know of any Edison Kinetophone machine in private hands, and very, very few Kinetophone cylinders. This came to me from one of my customers in Latvia about 25 years ago. And
Amazing.
you can see it's all in Cyrillic.
Amazing.
And it's not much to listen to, especially if you don't speak Russian.
Right.
But as an artifact, again, that's one of the rarest things you're ever going to see.
Amazing.
1898. This is Columbia's entry into the disc phonograph market.
Okay.
Up until that point, they were just making cylinders. These are vertically recorded brown wax discs to play on the Columbia toy graphophone.
Amazing.
Yeah, that's rare stuff. But anyway,
Original Armed Forces radio transcription. Now, would this be something they would ship over V-discs in or something like that?
no, this is 16-inch.
Okay.
But the V-discs were shipped in the V-disc boxes like here.
Oh my goodness.
So this is an original V-disc box.
Wow.
So Marine AA release. So this would have come with a series of V-discs because they were issued in series
Right.
and sent overseas. So that's what those look like.
That is absolutely
60 revolutions a minute. This was made for like a soundtrack for a silent film.
right.
In the teens. But yeah, the normal 20-inch recordings are, I think, 120 to 130.
Yeah.
I've got some of those back there on the shelf.
Wow.
But the theater recordings are much rarer.
Wow. So what's behind door number 3? I can't wait.
Well, so this is more of our music room. This is what we sort records on.
What?
And we've got all kinds of different things in here. Again, this is not ready for prime time. This is a workspace. If I known you were coming, I would have cleaned it up. But
This is beyond perfect.
Perfect, yeah.
A story behind this. I'm sure there is one.
oh, I'm sure there is too. I'm not sure that I know it. But these were done up specially 1977 and given to certain institutions. So this went to Walt Disney.
Amazing. Absolutely
This
amazing.
is the stamper for this Edison Diamond disc, Hi Ho Everybody Hi Ho by the Seven Blue Babies, recorded May 28th, 1929, which was only like May, June, half a year before the stock market crash and
Right.
Edison went out of business. So we have Edison Stamper here with the record that was pulled from it, this Edison Diamond disc. We've got, that is the cylinder mold for that cylinder. And that's a cylinder mold for that Columbia cylinder. That's an Edison, that's Columbia.
Amazing.
We've got this is actually, I don't know if you're familiar with the Victor orthophonic machines.
Yeah.
With the reentrant horns, introduced in 1925. This is a salesman sample of what that would look like, what the horn looks like. I just pulled the metal part off of this and sent to somebody who's going to be reproducing it. He's making some of these as some reproductions.
That's
So
a great idea.
gave him the original part of that. I'm hoping it makes it there and back okay.
Right.
Some really interesting gadgets, gizmos, things that one could buy to do various things with. So,
is that a Seabird Stamper?
No. I know it looks like the Seabird jukebox type of record, but this is a regular 10-inch stamper. And let's see what that is. Wow. I'm not exactly sure what that is, but that is a stamper. Yeah.
Is it heavy? I've never held a stamper.
Yeah. It's a nickel-plated copper.
Wow, heavier than I imagined. That's amazing. Nickel-plated copper. Yep. Electroplated.
Mm-hmm. These down here. This is a real cool thing down here. This is a home disc recording system from around 1920.
Okay.
Unused, complete. Was recording on this type of a disc, and you would fix. There's kind of a little picture of it over here on the top of that box, the Record-ology.
Oh yeah.
It shows it on a Victrola, how you'd set it up on your Victrola and get all that going. That is a super cool item, especially basically new. I don't think it was ever used.
It's overwhelming.
Here, the spindles are gone from it. These little
okay, yeah, you can see where they were.
turnout shells, but that's often the case when you find original cylinder cabinets. Spindles are gone,
Right.
but easily replaced. This is more antique audio stuff. So this is Mark Levinson equipment. Pretty high-end stuff.
Yeah.
So Mark
Yeah.
Levinson amp down there on the floor. These are Imf Speakers. Really, this is the system that I purchased about a year and a half ago up in the upper Midwest. This is the kind of turntable that we sell. We've got a bunch of these.
Oh yeah, we reviewed that one many a
You're
time.
familiar with that?
Oh yeah.
So that's the AT LP140, which is a nice machine. It's great for record collectors because you've got 3 speeds, right? You've got speed control, which is very important in playing early records. You've got a fully adjustable tone arms. You can set the height higher if you're playing a diamond disc.
Right.
You've got your anti-skating, your weight control, and so forth. You can change the styling out easily if you're playing one kind of record versus another. Right. So we sell a lot of these. These are great, very, very feature-laden machines for the money.
Excellent. Yeah, that's a great unit. Absolutely. And direct drive, got the strobe and the quartz lock, all that good stuff. Case is mostly advertising, you were saying?
Advertising and promo things, yeah. So you got record dusters, you got little banks here to save your money up for a phonograph. You have not looked at a pile of 78s unless you've seen at least one copy of that record.
Right.
Red Rose.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Near You by Francis Craig on
board. Yeah, absolutely.
The reason that's there is I found out it's autographed by him. So
wow, that's crazy.
Full prominence.
Yeah.
When I first built this building, this room, of course, was empty, and I needed something on the walls. And shortly after, I made a trip to Milwaukee, and there was a guy I used to see there who ran with anything, but just the framing jobs on this stuff.
Amazing, yeah.
I couldn't afford it to do that.
Famous opera singers.
So it was just perfect for this room.
Absolutely.
This, of course, is Enrico Caruso. That was signed in 1919.
The Caruso autograph. That's got to be nearly priceless. That is amazing.
Well, they're pricey. Not quite priceless, but they're
pricey.
There. This right here is a bronze Caruso bust. Caruso was an extremely talented artist, not just a singer. He was a sculptor and a caricature artist.
Wow.
So this is a bust that he did of himself.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
And he's got you can see his signature on one side.
That's amazing.
Really cool.
That's Teddy Roosevelt.
It's Teddy Roosevelt.
Yeah.
So Caruso did caricatures primarily of other opera singers and people in the opera business.
Yeah.
This is the only one that I know of that he did that was anybody who was political.
Took me a minute, but I got there.
And that is, that's an original by him. So
that's
that is, now we're starting to get priceless. Anywhere in the shop.
Yeah.
To play records that we're working on.
Right.
But this one typically stays here because I do a lot of sorting on this table, and this is where I listen to my stuff. And so if there's anything in here that you would particularly be interested in.
I enjoy all types of music, so
we'll just listen to this. Yeah, this is.
no say music.
Yeah.
Wow. Vertical cut. Amazing.
So this is a Violano. They made them for about 20 years. This is a late one. This dates from around 1927. It's an automatic violin player piano. And everybody, or not everybody, most people, I guess, a lot of people have seen player pianos before. And those are pneumatic, so it runs off of air pressure. You got to pump the pedals, or you have a blower motor hooked up to it or something. This is not pneumatic, but it does play the perforated paper rolls that you would find with a player piano.
Okay.
But it's all electrical. So it runs off these paper rolls.
Wow.
These are paper rolls down here, original rolls. I don't use these because they're old, brittle paper and they tear easily. So when I had this machine fully restored a number of years ago, which was about a 7-year process, I had a MIDI system put into it so I can actually play this off of my computer wirelessly.
Wow.
So that's super cool. It will play the rolls, but it'll also play it the other way. So that's very nice.
That's amazing.
But this is your tracker bar. And so as the roll feeds from the top to the take-up spool down here, it goes behind here, and in back of this are little wire fingers. And so that wire finger is writing on the paper until the hole comes up, in which case it touches the bar and it completes a circuit.
Wow.
All right, so there's a whole harness of wires back here, and this not only controls the notes of the individual instruments, but it also controls expression and stuff. It'll control the speed of the bow wheels for the violin. It controls the expression of the piano. It controls the vibrato. And it's not just a single hole doing a single thing.
Right.
This is what we would call a duplexed mechanism. So this hole does this and this hole does this, but if the holes come up together, then they may do something entirely different, right? So it's a very, very complex machine, and regarded by a lot of people as the world's first computer.
Wow.
Because these perforated rolls are very much like punch cards.
Early punch cards. Yeah, memory for computers.
I don't know how old you are.
Old enough to know what that is, though.
I'm old enough to have learned, on
carry around your car.
Trash 80 computers and stuff back in the late 70s and early 80s.
Yeah.
And you would do your program on punch cards, right?
Exactly.
And if you dropped them walking down the stairs,
don't drop them in the hallway. Yep.
Not a good sign. So basically this is just reading those perforated rolls and reproducing what you've programmed it to reproduce, right?
Amazing.
So anyway, it's a very cool instrument. So you can get rolls, you can also get recut rolls, and you can get music people have written, as digital files. There was a guy here in town who's very accomplished at writing music for automatic musical instruments. And I said, would you, I got a couple of things I'd like to be able to play on my viola.
Yeah.
And so I gave him recordings he took home. He didn't own a Violano, but he was able to bring back a digital file. And this is one that he gave to me. I I think this one is his first pass. Wow. So it's not perfect, but it's not too bad either.
Yeah,
So
okay. Yeah, absolutely. Truly amazing.
So, you know, finding cylinders from 1905 is not a big deal. I sell hundreds of them. But finding home recordings from that period,
amazing.
You know, especially something beyond, you know, Johnny playing the piano or something.
Yeah.
You know, this is really interesting stuff. Here we have a couple of cylinders recorded by a girl who is 6 years old, talking about her trip to the St. Louis Exposition that year.
Wow.
For her birthday in 1904.
Amazing.
I mean, that's just... All right, so you can see it says it says Uganda on here, right? So here's his name.
And tell us again the story so I got it on camera.
All right, I'll show you. All right, so these are the Sir Harry Johnston cylinders. Wow. And he was, like I say, a British explorer and diplomat. And during his stay in Africa, he had an Edison cylinder phonograph and brown wax blanks, and he went around recording tribal music. Wow. You will have 2 or 3 different tribal kings speaking on these cylinders. You have the president of Liberia in 1904. Wow. This is the world's earliest recordings from sub-Saharan Africa. When he got back from his travels, he gave a talk to the Royal Geographical Society, and here is just a little cutout from their paper. Sir Harry Johnston delivering his lecture, and here's a piece of one of the drawings, which is what you see here. This right here, right there, that is this guy right here. Amazing. So this is the original pen and ink drawing that was reproduced in the paper.
Wow.
So here he is giving his presentation on royal geographers listening to the examples of native songs from the phonograph.
Just amazing.
I mean, this is World Heritage kind of material.
Right.
Absolutely.
Very, very cool stuff.
Seeing pictures of these things, that's so neat. And you just place it right on the record, and they would dance around and
so
stuff.
this is the rarest one that I have. That's the Uncle Sam kicking the Kaiser. That was a World War I toy. Those are very rare. Then we have the Fighting Cocks down here. This one, Banjo Billy, and I think he was calling this, forget what he's calling it. But these two right here are modern. Well, modern from the 1990s, I guess. A friend of mine in Florida was
really?
Those. But bamboo needles, you've got whale ivory needles, you've got all kinds of different needles, all kinds of different...
I even see V-disc needles now. What made a V-disc needle separate?
Yeah, exactly. So those would have been shipped over probably in those boxes that I showed to you before, so that they would have something. Well, maybe, yeah, the V-disc box, yes, not the big trunk.
Right.
That would not have been played with those, but
amazing.
Those are whale ivory Tusco needles. Probably couldn't get away with that today.
Right. Yeah. So unfortunately, that's all there is. I didn't get a good clean outro while I was there. I was just sort of mesmerized. I want to give a huge thank you to Kurt and his team for making us feel welcome. We spent a good hour and a half there. That was his after hours. None of that. They didn't have to be there for any of that. That was all just for us and for you. And I want to make sure that you guys let him know how appreciative we all are down in the comments, and ask any questions you have. Check out his auction, 78rpm.com. As of the publishing of this video, there is an auction coming up in just a week or so. So you're gonna wanna check that out. And like he said, I think he said something like, everything is for sale that you see. So if you are interested in anything you saw today, check out his website, hit him up. And again, a huge thank you to Kurt. He took us out for dinner to a Chinese restaurant right after we got done filming. And it was a wonderful way to end a great trip. And we were on an airplane the next morning headed back to Denver. And I'm still just, I can't believe it. And again, I'm sorry I said, wow, so many times. My wife was making fun of me because I just said it a ridiculous amount of times. But I couldn't help it because I was so enthusiastic about what I had seen. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that. That's all for now. Happy record hunting. We'll see you next time.